Folks, Michael Burry's back at it again with a bunch of new buys through his hedge fund, Scion Asset Management. So we have a lot to go over in this video because some of these buys, at least in my opinion, are a little bit questionable. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments after you watch this video. So if y'all find value, smash that like button, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to get up to 15 stocks from Moomoo, link down below, or by simply going to stasorfest.com/Moomoo. Each of those stocks could be valued all the way up to $2,000. We'll talk more about that later. So with that being said, guys, cheers. Let's dive right into the video. And first and foremost, let me actually make my big old head a little bit smaller. There we go, so we can actually break down what is going on right now with good old Michael Burry. So again, these new stocks that he's buying are through his hedge fund, Scion Asset Management LLC. And currently, guys, this hedge fund is based out of Saratoga and is run by Mr. Good old Dr. Michael J. Burry. And currently, the assets under management are right around $237 million. And any company, any hedge fund, any firm with over $100 million, they have to report their new buys, their sells, all their holdings pretty much via a 13F filing every single quarter. So we get to see all these big investors, what they're doing on a quarterly basis, which is a very fun thing to do. Not necessarily to just copy and blindly buy what they're buying, but to kind of see where their heads are at, right? So let's come down a little bit here and break down what in the world is going on. What stocks is he buying through this hedge fund? What stocks does he own? What stocks did he recently sell? So right now, the biggest holding in the portfolio, guys, is none other than JD.com, which is actually a Chinese company. Actually, the second stock is also a Chinese company, the second largest holding, which is Alibaba, and he actually bought more of these two holdings in the last quarter. You guys can see again, JD's the top holding with 250,000 shares held right now at a market value of a little bit under $11 million, which is 10% roughly of the portfolio, and previously it was 9% of the portfolio, and he actually just bought more JD.com as shares have increased by 175,000 shares. You guys can see right here. And of course, under that, we have Alibaba, another Chinese company, which right now he owns 100,000 shares. He just increased, pretty much doubled up the position, added 50,000 shares this past quarter. And right now, how many shares does he own? I just read that. 100,000 shares, $10 million value. So essentially, his two top bets are in Alibaba and JD, with roughly 10 to 10.5, $11 million in each of those Chinese holdings. Then under that, we have SIG right here, ticker symbol SIG. It's a new holding. He just bought 125,000 shares. You guys can see right now, right here rather, and those shares are valued at $9.7 million. So a little bit under $10 million, roughly 9% of the portfolio. You guys can see right here. And coming under that, we have NYCB, which I believe stands for, New York Community Bank Corp. He owns roughly $7.7 million of this stock, and it's a fresh holding, brand new. Just like SIG, bought roughly 800 or exactly 850,000 shares of NYCB. And you're going to notice a trend here, guys. He's actually buying a lot of these beaten down regional banks. Get ready for that, guys, later in the video. Pretty interesting stuff right here. Then the next stock holding is Zoom. Yes, you heard that right. Ticker symbol ZM. He bought 100,000 shares of Zoom at 7.3 or roughly at total, holding value of $7.3 million, and that comprises roughly 7% of the portfolio. So pretty interesting, right, guys? You'd think Zoom wouldn't be a stock that a lot of people are buying, but when you got to realize when stocks are kind of beaten down, they're out of the news, they're out of the spotlight, that could be when value is really there. That's when a lot of value opens up, because a lot of the money has flooded out of that stock, and a lot of people think it's dead, but I guess Michael Burry does not think it's dead, and he's buying more of it, or adding it to the portfolio again, with roughly $7.3 million of it, roughly at 100,000 or exactly 100,000 shares of Zoom, right? Then under Zoom, we have Capital One Financial Corporation, which is also a new holding. 75,000 shares were bought at a cost roughly, actually, can we even see the average cost here? Roughly at $96 is estimated for COF is the ticker, and that is at $7.2 million, which is a lot of money, guys, a lot of money. And a lot of these top holdings, the top 5, 6, are roughly the same dollar value, 7, 8 million, 9, 10 million, in the same ballpark, right? Then under that, we have SBSW, which is Sylvain-Stillwater, which I'm not too familiar with that company. That's a new holding. 800,000 shares were added. Under that, we have Lilac, ticker symbol LILAK, Liberty Latin America. I'm not sure what that is either. That's a new holding. 800,000 shares of that stock were added. Under that, we have CI, which is Cigna holding. That's a new holding as well. 25,000 shares right now, sitting at $6.3 million. You guys can see that. Then coming down even more, let's skip a couple here. We have COHR, okay, that is Coherent. Under that, we have Wells Fargo, which is new. That's 125,000 shares, share position. He put almost $5 million in Wells Fargo. Then under that, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? We have WAL, which is actually Western Alliance Bank Corporation, a regional bank. Yes, you heard that right. Michael Burry is buying up these beaten down regional banks. He bought 125,000 shares of Western Alliance, and that's valued at roughly $4.4 million. You guys can see that right there. Then under WAL, we have CTRA, which is, I believe, Coterra. Yeah, Coterra Energy. That's an energy company. That's a new position. He bought, 150,000 shares of that company, of that stock, roughly $3.7 million. And under that, he got rid of a ton of GEO, which is GEO Group. That's an industrials company. He got rid of 660,000 shares. You guys can see right here. Actually, you can't see it. Let me make my face, or actually, let me just scroll up a little bit. He ended up chopping 62% of that position. All right, under that, we have NOV, which is another energy company, and Devon Energy, which is another energy company. He added both of those in the past quarter. Fresh positions, roughly $2.5 million each. Then under that, look at this, guys. He ended up buying Pacific West, a regional bank, and he bought FRCB, which is First Republic Bank, which is now trading OTC. In other words, the over-the-counter market. So he's buying up a good amount of these regional banks. Not a crazy amount where it's an unreasonable amount of his portfolio, but he is buying a good amount, a decent amount, to the point where FRCB, he bought $2 million of that. It's 2% of the portfolio. PacWest is roughly, what is that? 2.3% of the portfolio, $2.4 million. He's buying an amount where that FRCB, PacWest, and WAL, they make up almost 10% of his overall portfolio, with WAL, Western Alliance, making up 4.1%. So add 4.1% plus 2.3, or rather, 2.3 plus 2%, that's roughly 10% of the portfolio in these regional banks, and they're all brand new holdings. I believe FRCB, he owns it at around 13. Oh, wow. He bought it at $13. So he is underwater a lot. So for all we know, guys, he might have sold out of that already. I don't know. And the thing is, with 13F filings, these are moves they made in the last 90 days. So we don't know exactly where he bought it. Well, I guess we do have an approximate range, but the better thing to say here is we don't know if he sold out. He might have already sold out of these regional banks, guys. We have no idea. But FRCB, he bought into that. PacWest, he bought into that, which we just got news a couple days ago that they saw deposits come out in droves pretty much since May 2nd. I believe they saw about 10% of their deposits come out, and really that's going to other big banks. Let's be honest here, guys. So he's buying PacWest, Western Alliance, FRCB, or at least he bought. I'm not sure if he's still buying right now. We'll see in the next 13F filing. Maybe he sold out of all of these for all we know. But that is what's going on, guys. These are his new buys, and he has a couple more. He has, let's see, HBAM, which is, maybe that's another regional bank out of Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, it looks like it's Huntington Bank shares. I'm not too sure about that one, but he bought 185,000 shares of that, 2% of the portfolio. So he's looking at 10+% of his portfolio in these regional banks. And you guys got to realize Michael Burry is more of a contrarian investor. He's not one of these guys that follows the herd. He's not one of these guys that just piggybacks on, the big tech stocks, or he's not an index fund guy who's buying the S&P 500. He's looking to buy companies that a lot of people are not looking at, companies that are beaten up, that have kind of been, chewed up and spit out. That's his style, guys. That's how he does things, and, well, clearly it works. works. I mean, Michael Burry is one of the more famous investors out there, and of course, he had his claim to fame during the '08 crisis, and he did very well then. I'm not sure what his performance is since that point, but that's his claim to fame, and he's definitely a public figure out there in the investor community that a lot of people look up to, that a lot of people try to emulate. And I'm not just going to go out there and buy up all the regional banks because Michael Burry did, and I'm not one of these guys that just blindly follows the super investors, but it is, like I said in the intro of the video, interesting to watch what they're doing, to see, and there goes the markets, guys, to kind of see where their heads are at during these turbulent times that we're living in. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to wrap it up here. So if you all found value, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to get up to 15 stocks from Moomoo, each up to $2,000 as well. Use that link down below or go to stassurfest.com/Moomoo. Once you guys open up an account, you get 1 free share of stock right off the bat. And once you fund your account with at least $100, you get 4 more stocks, totaling 5 stocks. And listen to this. Once you fund your account with at least $1,000, guys, you get 10 more stocks, totaling 15 free stocks. So if you want some free money and you want to help out the channel, use that Moomoo link down below or go to stassurfest.com/Moomoo, and you might as well get 12 more stocks from Webull, also using that link down below or by simply going to stassurfest.com/Webull. So yeah, get your free money. And with that being said, guys, cheers. I'll catch you in the next video.